In this video, I want to go through the full breakdown or the full process on how to soundproof a room effectively. And I'll be talking about the entire process. I'll show you the product that I use. And remember, some of these products can be interchangeable, right? There's other products on the market. I'll mention some by name, and I probably don't know all of these other products out there, but I'll talk to you about step by step what we use and how it all comes together in order to create a fully soundproof room. Whether you're trying to soundproof for a studio or a movie theater, or if you just want a quiet room where you can play music. In this example, what I'm using here, we're doing a sound room. So this room will be used for really high-end speakers. My client, you want to be able to use a room to test out and listen. It's like a listen room. Quiet room, so you need to have the best sound as possible. Not only the sound that escape the room, but you want the room to be treated in such a way that you can get the quality of sound, because the equipment that will be used in this room, there will be no special preamp or mixer. My client want to hear the raw music, exactly how it was made from the studio. And to do that, we decided to design a room where it can accommodate that type of speaker and that type of audio. Before we go into the process, first I want to start by showing you some of the product that we use and explain to you what these products are and why they're used in this application. One of the first product I want to show you, it's called a Genie Clip, right? This product, we'll be using it in conjunction with a resilient channel, or this is for a foreign channel or at channel, some might call it. But I'll show you this product. So what happens, this creates an uncoupling effect. It has a hole here, right? So you screw this product onto the 2x4 and it have a rubber. So basically your drywall or your acoustic panel would not be screwing directly onto the 2x4 or 2x6 or whatever framing material you'll be using. So this is the first thing that goes onto the 2x4, and I'll show you how it's installed. Next, we have our foreign channel or hat channel. So this product, this is where you will be screwing your drywall or your acoustic panel onto after it's installed onto the Genie Clip. There are other products out there that's called a whisper clip. It works similar. So as you can see, the Genie Clip screws onto the 2x4, and then the add channel or foreign channel clips onto it, and I'll repeat how that's installed or how that's done. So basically, it has these little notch here, and this product goes and clips onto it. So basically, if you look at it from a side view, you would have your 2x4 here, and then you have your clip and your channel. And after the channel, this is where you will start your wall treatment in terms of your drywall or your acoustic panel that will be screwed onto this product. The next product I'll show you that we'll be using in this application is what you call acoustic sealant. So this is your acoustic sealant. There are a few different types. There's your green glue, and I'm using a different product here, right? But they all do the same thing. Not like your caulking. Caulking usually dries out. This product, it stays kind of tacky. It never fully dries, so you never have any cracking. So we'll be using this as another product in this application also. And this is another product that we'll be using. This is called acoustic sealant, but this is more in a putty form, right? So it's kind of like rubber, but it's very sticky, right? So this will be placed around all of our outlets and switch box. Any place where you have a plug or you might have a light fixture, we'll be using this product on all of those. And also, here's another product that we'll be using. This product comes in big rolls, and this is a little bit different. I'm pretty sure you've never really seen many videos where this is used. This will be completely different from what most people do when it comes to doing acoustic treatment for the home theater or wall. But what this is acoustic floor underlayment that will be fine in like condominium buildings. That way that it doesn't transfer the sound from one floor to the other floor. So we'll be using this in this application also, but it would not be used on the floor. It will be used as part of our wall assembly. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how this is used also. Because this gonna give you a sense of how a simple product like this can change your acoustic treatment that you're trying to do for any type of sound room. So this is going to be a great one for me to show you how it's installed. As you can see, I have another product here. So we will be supplementing our green glue for this carpet glue. This is a rubber carpet glue, but it's not your regular carpet glue. This is an indoor-outdoor glue, meaning this product never gets completely dry, right? So this would be the product that we'll be using to sandwich our two wall boards together. In this case, we will be using 5/8 drywall. So all of these walls and ceiling would have 2 layers of drywall. So the first layer is going to go onto the resilient channel. Then after that, we will spread this glue using a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/8 trowel on the drywall, and I'll show you guys how this process is done also. This is an important part of the process because what happened, you don't want to just layer your drywall together. You want something in between the 2 layers to convert that sound wave into heat before it go to the other layer. So this is going to be an interesting process that I'll go through, and I'll show you exactly how that process is done also. Remember, you can use this carpet glue or you can use a green glue. We choose to go with this product because we want to get full coverage on our drywall. With green glue, it's very expensive, and they recommend 2 tubes per sheet of drywall. But ideally, to get full coverage, I would think you need about 3 tubes. So this is going to go a longer way in terms of the cost, right? So stay tuned and I'll show you how this process is done also. Now that we have most of the product that we'll be using in this installation, let's go on and I'll actually do a demonstration. I'll show you how these products work, and I'll even install a few of them just to give you for demonstration purposes, and you can actually see exactly how this is done. So let's go on and take a look at this. But before we go, if you find value in this video so far, please like and subscribe to the channel so you will be alert when I post future videos. When it comes to any type of soundproofing, it always starts with your wall treatment. That's important because you're going to soundproof a room, so your walls is the first step. So the first step here is framing your walls. In this situation that we have here, we went with 2x4 framing, and we did a double wall. As you can see, we have our 2x4 16 inches on center. We have a 2x4 plate with a sill gasket on the bottom, and then we have a secondary 2x4 frame on the other side of the wall. So the reason for this is we want to stop the sound transmission from the room to the exterior and from the exterior of the room to come back into the room. So the plans is we will have our Genie Clips, our 4-inch channel or at channel, and 2 layers of drywall. But we want to take it a step further and try to also do some acoustic treatment on the 2x4s. And I'll demonstrate this process. It's a little bit different. I've learned this from an audio expert who's been doing audio for his entire life, over 40 years. And this system here, I'll show you the difference it makes after the treatment. And then we'll go into the next step where I'll show you how we install the Genie Clip and the 4-inch channel, then the drywall. Let me show you what happens when we add the plywood for the acoustic treatment on this 2x4. So here we have our 1/2-inch plywood, and this plywood was cut exactly the same size as of a 2x4. So a 2x4 is only 3.5 inches. So the plywood is 3.5 inches. But not only the plywood, we will be using this acoustic mat. Okay, we're using this acoustic mat on the plywood first before we attach it to the 2x4. And let me show you how I attach the mat to the plywood first. So I'll be using this carpet glue with a 1/8 trowel. Okay, so basically I would be spreading it on the entire length of the plywood. It doesn't have to be fully covered. I just want to use something so that it can kind of stick to it. You can also just use a staple gun to staple the acoustic mass on the layment, but I choose to just go the little bit extra mile and add the glue, because what happens when the sound wave hits the glue sandwich in between the plywood and the 2x4, it transforms that into heat and slows down the movements of the sound wave. Now that we have our 1/2-inch plywood fully covered, the next step I'll be putting this acoustic mass on the layment on the plywood. Okay, I'll cover the entire plywood with the acoustic mass. Now that we have our acoustic mass on the layment glued to our plywood, the next step is to attach it to our 2x4s, or if you're using 2x6 would be the same process. And I'll be attaching this with screws. I'm just using your regular drywall screws for this process. And I'll show you the difference it makes when I'll use a hammer to hit this 2x4, and I'll hit this 2x4 that does not have this treatment, and you'll see the difference it makes just by adding the acoustic on the layment and the 1/2-inch plywood to the studs. Now that we have our 2x4, we have the acoustic on the layment and our plywood all sandwiched together. I don't know if this is going to come through the video very well, but I want you to hear the difference between a 2x4 that is treated with the acoustic treatment and a 2x4 that was treated with doesn't have it as yet, right? So I hope you guys can hear it. So it's a big difference in the way this thing sounds. So you always want to start your acoustic treatment from your framing Don't start from the drywall stage. Everything has to go together. So the next step, we'll be using our rock wool safe and sound in between both walls, making sure that they're not touching each other in the middle, because we want to have that gap between the two walls. So remember, you want to stop all sound transmission from one room to the other room. So I will be using this acoustic putty to seal all of the electrical outlets and switch boxes. That way, these holes, believe it or not, the holes on these box can transmit sound waves. So we want to stop all of that. So I'm using this putty here. Your electrician might not want to do this for you, so you would have to go back and do all of this yourself, which is a pretty easy process. You just get the putty and you wrap it completely around your box. Make sure you get all of those holes covered and completely seal. After it's done, your box should look like this. So this, after you do your drywall and insulation, you don't want any sound to penetrate the box. So you want to use these acoustic putty on all of your boxes, and then you can reinstall them. And remember, if you're using double drywall plus a resilient channel or a foreign channel, you're going to want your box to stick out a bit further than if you're going to just do one layer of drywall. So I'm going to have this box here stick out about just over an inch. For something like this, you can talk to the electrician to use the deeper boxes, right? And even with a deep box, you might need some box extension after you put your drywall. So if you need box extension, what you'll do, you'll use the acoustic sealant to seal around the box after your drywall is installed. Now that we have our wall is done framing, we have our acoustic treatment on our 2x4 studs. Next steps, as you can see here, we have our rock wool insulation in between the stud, and you want to make sure that your rock wool fits snug. You don't want it to be forced in between the stud, but it should fit snug so that there's no gaps, right? So that any sound can penetrate your wall. And also we have our acoustic putty on all of the electrical box. But I want to show you how we did the resilient channel. But before I do a demonstration how it's installed, I want to point out something. If you notice, we have the Genie clips on every other stud, right? So there's one here and there's one here. And on the second row, we have one on this stud and one on the outside stud. So we stagger them. We don't have one at every single stud because this product is strong enough that you don't need it. And the less contact you have with your 2x4 walls is the better for the soundproofing, right? So now I'll show you how we install a Genie Clip and then install the foreign channel inside of the Genie Clip, which would carry your drywall. This is how you install your Genie Clip and your foreign channel. It's a pretty easy process. Basically, your Genie Clip already comes with a hole where you put your wood screw, okay? So basically, you just put your wood screw in there, and you fasten it to the wall. You don't want to make it too tight, just snug enough. And then you can put your Genie Clip, your foreign channel, I mean, into your Genie Clip like this. Pretty simple, straightforward, but this simple step creates a world of difference when it comes to soundproofing, because now your drywall would be completely separated from your wood stud. it barely sits with using one screw and the clip. So when it comes to the vibration from your bass, it gives it some play. So this would vibrate and take a lot of that vibration from your wood stud. So this is a great step. I think this is a step that you should not miss. If you're going to soundproof, I don't want to see you put in your drywall directly onto your stud, especially if you're going to do sound treatment for a home theater room or some kind of a studio or sung room. Okay, so this is the step. The next process is we're going to do our drywall process. That's where we're going to screw our drywall onto the 4-inch channel, and this will be a double layer of drywall with a layer of glue sandwiched in between the two. If you're liking this content so far, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button. So the next step is drywall. We'll show you how we install the drywall. In this case, we're using 2 layers of 5/8 drywall on the walls and on the ceiling. And this is going to be interesting because we're not just sandwiching 2 drywall together. We'll be showing you how we seal all of the seams with acoustic sealant, and also we'll be using another product in between the 2 layers, fully covered with a trowel. So this is going to be interesting to show you how we really complete this process. And I'll be leaving all of the links in the description to all of the product that we use when we're doing these soundproofing jobs. So you can take a look at them, and if you want to buy them, you know exactly what to use if you're going to do soundproofing for a room.